Welcome, fellow seekers of challenge and triumph, to the SufferSooner podcast. Join us on a journey where ordinary souls embark on extraordinary endeavors. From the relentless grind of gravel to the punishing gauntlet that is triathlon, we've tasted our fair share of suffering. So fellow endurance warriors, let's lace up our shoes, strap on our goggles, and dive headfirst into the challenge, knowing that with every step, stroke, and pedal forward, we grow stronger together.
All right, guys, welcome to episode 82. We're joined with Heidi Platt, multiple Ironman finisher, local Northland athlete up here. If you've done any races, you've probably seen Heidi and her bike, Pinkie Pie.
Yeah.
There's a long history there. Another thing I love about Heidi is she's probably like the only person I've ever seen get a productive on her Garmin watch. So
yeah,
and she has picture proof of it.
Rumor has it Garmin's been trying to track her down for
exactly
years,
dude.
Years.
There's gonna be so many people on this podcast asking how it happened.
I know, and we're in an undisclosed location, so your identity's protected. You're fine. Yeah.
So. Thanks, Heidi, for coming and joining us. And super great to have you on here. I know you listen to the podcast, and it's super awesome to have you on here. How did you get started? Just a little bit of history. Like, did you always do triathlon, or did you start out in a different sport, or?
Yeah, no, I hated running. I thought,
Yes,
absolutely hated running.
One of us.
So I was actually a volleyball player, and I went to a super, super small school. I graduated with 10 people in my class and had 50 in the high school. So if they offered the sport, you could do it because otherwise they didn't have a team.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we were pretty good at volleyball, but then I played basketball to stay in shape for volleyball and ran track to stay in shape for volleyball.
Yeah.
And I'd run the 2 mile because that had the fewest number of people and I had the greatest chance of scoring points. And I thought it was torture when the coach made us go run 3. Like I thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
But
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
I like everything I agree with.
Same thing when I see 3 show up on my training plan. Oh,
I knew there was a reason we had Heidi on the show.
Yeah.
This is great. We agree.
Absolutely hated running. And then got to college, and I'm like, okay, I'm not putting on the freshman 15. So then I started running because, that was the cheapest thing to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, parachutes, that's all you gotta have.
Fast forward to 2008. It's when had our daughter. And I'm like, I want to get back in. I think I want to try to run a 10K. So I ran a 10K like 7 months after she was born. I'm like, oh, that wasn't too bad. Let's try a half marathon. But I will never, ever want to do a marathon, ever. And so 6 weeks later, I ran my first half, and then it kind of all went downhill from there. Ran my first full the next year. And then our daughter was 3, I think, and we bought bikes and a trailer, just go as a family, because my husband, John, really likes to bike. And I'm like, well, I've got a bike, I can run. Might as well learn to swim. So I learned to swim at the age of 27. And swimming is still really, really hard for me. But I did my first triathlon in 2012.
Okay.
Did 10-man in Topeka.
Okay. Yep.
The bad thing was I kept wanting to do the longer ones because that's where my run was, but my swim was not. So it's like I had to do shorter events until I got up to swimming. And my first triathlon, I'd never done an open water swim. And I'm like, oh.
That shouldn't be too bad.
How hard could it be?
I can do 1,500
I could swim in a
the
pool
pool
all day.
Not a problem.
Yeah, that's right.
I thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
It was a 400-yard swim, and I am lucky to be alive.
Been there.
As you do. As you do with the open water swim. It is one of those things that no matter how much you think you're prepared for it, you are not prepared for it.
It didn't help that the men's group went off right behind me.
Oh, no.
And they all had wetsuits on, and I didn't because it was my first. So I'm getting swam over by all these guys in wetsuits.
Not good.
But then I placed like 3rd in my age group. I'm like, oh, this is kind of fun.
All right. Success.
Let's do it again.
Yeah, right.
And then I did my first half iron distance in 2013 and my first full in 2014.
Okay.
And so now I've done 8 fulls and 7 halves.
8 full, 7 has all in about a 12 to 13 year time span. That's pretty solid.
Yeah. That's
One
good.
a year.
One a year.
Yeah.
One year I did 2.
Yeah. What was that like? Doing 2 in 1 year?
It actually wasn't horrible because I did Des Moines, and then 8 weeks later I did Alaska. And Alaska was always going to be our family vacation. So it was more like, you know, it's just going to be a fun experience. I had no expectations at all. And it ended up being one of my best Ironmans ever, probably because it was 55 degrees and drizzly when I hit the
I was going to
marathon.
ask how, so maybe just dive into the Alaska a little bit because that had to be quite an experience. So.
It was absolutely amazing. They did shorten the swim because the water temp was 56 and the air temp was 55. So you were never going to warm up.
Yeah.
Right.
And people were really, really mad about it. They had people not leave T1 because they were hypothermic.
Wow. Yeah.
And John was out on the water because he was the captain for the swim. And he said they, you know, pulled people from the water.
I bet.
And then they did have heaters in T1. They had some people not leave for an hour and a half.
Oh, wow.
So they could warm up.
Yeah, that'd be me.
Like, I'm not going out there.
But I was so prepared for it to be cold that I didn't think it was that bad. I did wear booties and a full sleeve wetsuit.
Yeah.
But the bike was like you biked on the highway basically to the end of the glacier. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
But it was rainy, so I couldn't look around as much as I wanted because you really had to pay attention. But I mean, I was just like, oh, you know, cruising along, just having fun. And I ended up having like the 6th fastest bike split of the day or something.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty good, but I was absolutely filthy from all the spray on the road. It was just covered everywhere. My brakes were all gunked up, and I'm like, how did these even work?
Yeah.
But the run was probably my most favorite run ever because, well, number one, the weather.
Yeah.
But then there was one stretch that you ran through almost 2 miles of rainforest. And you looked up and all you saw were trees.
Yeah.
Like it was just this little trail through it was so cool. And then they had park rangers like every 500 feet to scare off the bears.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, nothing to motivate you to run a little faster than a bear.
Exactly. That's probably the best run split you'd ever get from me.
So that was my second fastest marathon and an Ironman off the hardest bike that I've ever done. Just mostly because of the weather, I think. But
Yeah.
I ended up 6th overall, so that was my highest place also.
Dang.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because they shortened the swim.
Well, but still, I mean, you can only race the course they give you.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
You know.
Yeah, but it was amazing.
Yeah. So 12 years of doing Ironman distance events. So what are some of the things over that 12 years that you've maybe some of the biggest lessons you've learned?
You've got to take an off season. Like I learned that the hard way. I'm like, oh, my fitness is so great. I'm gonna keep doing doubles all through the winter, you know. And
Love the ambition.
I was so burnt out, and my family hated me.
Yeah,
it's like so I've got to switch it up and just do like maybe I don't bike for a month. Okay, it'll come back. I used to be in that mentality that if I don't do it, I'm gonna lose it. And I'll lose a little bit of it, but it'll come back faster.
Yeah. How many hours a week do you train on average? Like where have you gone on that? So like in 2014, maybe somewhere in the middle of that, and then now recently, like how many hours a week? Not necessarily peak, but just on average. It's like what does an average week look like for you for volume?
Like right now in the off season, I'm doing probably 5 to 7 hours, but it's a lot more strength, and maybe it's going for more walks. You know, it's not as much like intensity focused, or maybe it's a quick, you know, intensive focused half hour on the trainer and not 3 hours.
Right.
Yeah.
So most of my workouts are no more than an hour and a half in the off season. I would say in 2014, I might have been putting in 12 to 14 to train for an Ironman.
Sure.
But now I've definitely prioritized strength. Like I probably do more. I'd probably say I'd hit 15 to 16 in my peak. Okay. But it's because I do the strength. It's maybe because I go for a recovery walk.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily more intensity.
How does that compare to like when you first started? Because I think one of the things a lot of beginners, the trap they fall into is I got to do more. And it's like, I think you're right. As you get older, especially, strength is more important. But I think even for people just starting out or even in the first few years, it's easy to underestimate how much strength can, and we've talked about this with even just last year with gravel season, how much strength can play a role in not only maintaining your fitness, but that muscular endurance and the durability that you need. So how does like the training style and the composition of your week look compared to like when you first started?
Well, I'll use this as an example. When I trained for my first marathon, I just picked a random plan. I didn't have a coach or anything. Ran 6 days a week. Gave myself tendinitis.
Yeah.
And I've learned my max is maybe 4 days a week if I'm recovering properly. So once I got into the cross training, it made me a faster runner.
Okay.
But so now I would say, like in the off season, I try to lift probably 4 to 5 days a week. I use it was Beachbody on Demand, and now it's Body, and I'll pick like some strength so that I'm not overlifting or like right now I'm doing a 25-minute one.
It's not like maxed out strength efforts.
No.
You're talking this is more like functional strength and
balance
like
stuff.
balance and core work. I'm sure is a big part of it. Yeah. So
now, like this week, I'll probably I biked because we were on vacation, and it's easier to get on a hotel spin bike. And when I'm walking 15 to 20,000 steps a day around the parks, I didn't really need to run. But now I'd say I probably run 2 to 3 days a week, bike 2 to 3, and swimming is my nemesis.
Yeah.
So I lose it pretty quickly.
Do that when you have to do it.
Yeah, but I try to make sure I get to the pool at least once a week, even in the off season, even when I don't want to, even if it's just 1,500.
Sure.
Just so that I can have a feel for the water, so I'm not starting, almost from zero when I go back.
Yeah. So Travis, you mentioned the Garmin Productive. What I want to know is did you write down like the algorithm and how you were able to attain a productive measure on that? Like, how did you get that? That's amazing.
You do some heat training, lots and lots and lots of heat training, and then the temperature cools off.
Yeah, forget all the Ironman accomplishments. Like, I just want to know about the Garmin metric.
Yeah,
how did you...
I mean, that Garmin, luckily my old watch doesn't tell me, but I do have a new watch, and it's like non-productive. I'm like, what do you know?
Right.
Who are you, Garmin? You don't know me.
Or mine's stuck on maintaining. I'm like, what do you mean maintaining? Maintaining what?
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't know. I love the memes about like the Garmin just telling you, you're not worth it. Oh, did you go for a run? Oh, I didn't notice. I was asleep. Like, it's just like, come on, man.
Sleep mode activated.
Yeah.
What?
Mine was really mean because after I did Ottawa in August this year, I cut back to 5 hours a week, and my Garmin's like, your fitness is declining. It's still good, but
it's still okay. But just to let you know, you're falling off a cliff,
right?
Yeah, you need to do some longer efforts.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah.
Dude, I'm done doing the 6-hour bike rides for a little while.
So when I dial the volume down a little bit, mine goes from, how it has the your cyclist ability, I think is one of their newest ones, which is equally depressing, by the way. It's like mine during the season is like, oh, you're an endurance specialist. I'm like, oh, I feel good. I'm an endurance specialist. Yeah. And then it goes now, like when I back the volume down, or if I have a rocky stretch, it's like flat specialist. I'm like, what? When do you put out tailwind specialist? Because that's what I feel like I am right now.
You're a downhill specialist.
Downhill specialist. That's right.
I'm like, really good at going downhill and coasting.
These guys just troll us. That's all they do. They're just out there to troll us.
Yeah.
So anyway,
what would you say is probably your favorite Ironman that you've done?
It's got to be Alaska.
Okay. What? Okay.
That's a bummer. They only had it that 1 year.
Yeah, but I can understand why they had such a hard time finding lodging for people.
Sure.
And then being in Juneau, everything has to be shipped in.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
they had barges of porta potties.
The logistics
coming in,
were crazy.
because they don't have that many.
Yeah. What? Which location have you done the most times?
Chattanooga.
Yeah.
I've finished it 3 times and then had a DNF there once, and then I've also done the half there.
Yeah. Was the DNF like a heat? Because I know it gets pretty hot down. We've done it the 1 year, and it was moderate.
No, it was actually gorgeous that year.
Of course.
Yeah, it was 2018, and that's when they had all the rain. That was the first year they canceled the swim.
Yeah.
So everybody's like, oh, it's going to be easy. There's no swim. I mean, the swim in Chattanooga is pretty easy. Anyway,
I was going to say, it's like,
no, but I...
yeah, Danny did it.
I know, right? It's like
you just float. You just lay there and float.
I'm not saying what you have to do. I'm just saying. Just saying, I can do it.
That year, the current was really dialed up, though.
Yeah, that's true.
That was one of my best swim times ever.
52 minutes.
Mine was like 42.
Yeah,
Pro level.
Yeah, you were way down there.
Smoking.
Yeah.
I almost missed the
exit.
I didn't realize where we were because I breathed to my right, so I'm always looking to the other side, and then I passed a couple buoys, and then I breathed to my left, and I was like, oh, that's concrete.
Yeah.
Isn't the concrete down by the dock where we're supposed to go? And then I peek my head up to look to sight, and I'm like, oh, there's kayaks there. Oh, they're ushering us that to the left. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I gotta get going.
Yeah. All I remember is just running up that ramp thinking, thank God that part's over. Like I was so, I like the rest of it, I knew I had it in the bag. I wasn't worried. Just
that's how I feel after every swim.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. So, well, that's actually probably a good segue then. So you DNF'd at Chat. So talk to us a little bit about like what were some of the lessons you came out of that? Like what kind of adjustments did you see when you came out of that?
Well, on the bike, I had it in my head. I'm like, I'm going to do a sub 6 hour. And I mean, yes, I had the fitness to do it, but I started feeling really off in the middle of the bike. And I should have backed it off, and I didn't because, I mean, it's Ironman. You feel great now, you feel horrible. I'm like, I'll just keep pushing. It'll be fine.
Yep.
And then I got to the run, and I'm like, all right, we're going to take out a 9-minute pace because that's what I'm going to run to get my 10-hour split. And that lasted for about 3 miles. And then I started doing the porta potty tour. And trying not to pass out. And then like mile 12, I got to that aid station. I was just laying on the ground. I'm like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. But after that, I went and worked with a nutritionist. And I did the low FODMAP diet.
Okay.
So I don't know. Have you heard of that? They're different sugars. Like lactose is one.
Okay.
That's pretty common that you hear about. And did an elimination diet. And I found out my body hates mannitol.
No. Okay.
Well, mannitol is in sweet potatoes, cauliflower. All this healthy food that I was pouring into my system was wreaking havoc on my GI system.
Makes sense now.
And so I'm like, why is my stomach bad today? Why is it fine? You know, and I would eat like a cup of riced cauliflower with sweet potato for lunch. And I'm like, why do I feel horrible?
Yeah.
And so once I eliminated mannitol, like 95% of my GI issues went away.
Wow.
I wonder how many people like that actually affects. Like, you know, people battle nutrition issues all the time. Like, oh, I can't take certain gels and things like that. I wonder how much of it is because like certain sugars their body just does not handle very well, and they don't even know it. You know, so there's your tip: go see a nutritionist that actually knows what they're doing. Right?
Yeah.
So.
It was life changing. Honestly.
Wow, that's great.
And so then I knew I needed a year off in 2019 from a full because I'd done a full in 2017, had my DNF in 2018, and at that time our daughter would have been 9, playing for 2 soccer teams, and I mean it's hard. It's hard. And so my husband and I both did Chattanooga half in 2019, and that was great just to go back to Chattanooga and finish a race. Like it was a redemption race to actually cross the finish line.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, all right, I'm ready for the full again. So I signed up to do the full in 2020, and COVID hit.
Yeah.
So it got deferred to 21. And when I went back in 21 to do the full, I was having a great day until I wasn't. But post-COVID, I was racing with so much joy because after not being able to race for a year, I mean, it was just like, so what if it's not my day? I'm out here. It's all these other people are out here. I'm just going to smile and enjoy. Like my race is what it is, but I'm going to cross that finish line. And it was
emotional.
It was emotional. Yeah. It was so great to cross the finish line, but then it was also like I wasn't disappointed. Sure.
But, just want to get it done, right?
Yeah.
Full redemption. So you talk about COVID a little bit, and it's so wild to think that was going on 6 years ago now. It's just crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems like a lifetime ago.
Yeah, and what were some of the adjustments that you made after COVID? Because I mean, a lot of people during that time, you're all geared up, you're ready to race. Races get wiped off the calendar. There's no races to do. I think the sport lost a lot of participants through that whole process. Like a lot of people, some people came in, some people went out, right? But what were some of the adjustments you made, like during COVID and after the whole COVID situation? Like what adjusted, like in your training, or did you have any changes in your approach?
The biggest thing,
just getting it done, right?
Yeah. The biggest thing was when they shut all the pools down. And so I'm like, well, swimming is already my weakness. What am I going to do now? So I had stretch cords, and I used those religiously. And it was kind of mind blowing. I went back to the pool, and I had been swimming in yards, and I went to a pool that was meters. Okay. My first swim back, I'm like, what? I was swimming the same speed or faster in meters than I had previously been in yards, and I hadn't been in the pool for over 2 months.
So I'm going to guess you'd say the stretch cords worked.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, what?
Now you're talking about the stretch cords. You're about the ones like you put in your door hinge or something like that, and you're working with those. Yeah,
because I would do those 15, 20 minutes, probably 3 to 4 times a week.
Yeah. Because I know a lot of people. There's so many gadgets out there. I mean, trust me, I've looked at everything to improve my swim. Everything. So many gadgets, but I think the stretch cords seem like that's like the most practical thing to get.
Because you can take them when you travel too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so but I was blown away by how much my swimming improved just by using those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find your swimming, once you get to a point where you can cover the distance and it's relatively comfortable, then that's when you want to start working on like strength and and developing those muscles. Like usually with my athletes, I don't give them paddle work until they can comfortably cover the distance, just so that they don't blow their shoulder.
Somebody like me that can never comfortably cover the distance.
You can.
You go to Chattanooga.
Yeah.
See, somebody catches on.
Danny can do it. He just, he gets all in his head like, oh, I can't breathe.
This isn't about, I know. It's like I need air or something.
I need air. Just like,
this isn't about me, Travis. Let's get back to the topic at hand here.
But that strength work, that dedicated strength work probably helped out a lot, for sure. And just the fact that you're, there's a lot of research too that shows that just like being mindful of the purpose of what you're doing. So that kind of triggers the same neuromuscular patterns that you would use swimming, even though you're not swimming. Like if you spend time like thinking about biking, you're developing patterns, neuromuscular patterns about biking, like even though you're not actually riding.
Yeah, it's a whole concept around like visualizing success and all that is the same type of thing, right? It's like, the more you process like what that's going to look like and then the mechanics to make that happen, then all of a sudden your body just kind of finds a way to get it done.
To do it, yeah. So, that's great. I mean, that's awesome. Let's see. Another thing I know that you did is you've changed up your fueling on the bike or the fueling in Ironman. I know that happened recently, and I've seen you've seen some good success with that. So let's talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, let's see. It would have been 2024. I knew I wasn't going to do a full, so I'm like, all right, I want to try to see if I can take in more calories, and I got on the feed and I ordered a ton of different like samples, which is really nice that I could try stuff out, and then I recorded what workout I did, the temperature, the humidity, how hard of effort it was, bike or run, and just tried a lot of stuff out to see how did it mess with my GI tract? Did I like the flavor? Did I still like the flavor 2 hours later? And just to see what worked and what didn't. And I ended up, I'd always used Tailwind, but I wanted to add that second sugar source. So now I just buy straight fructose, and I use 1 3/4 scoops of Tailwind, 1 scoop of fructose, and then I add in a scoop of base salt because I'm a super, super salty sweater.
Okay.
And to every hour for the bike, and it ends up being like 330 calories.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then when I get to the marathon, I found I really like the carb gel. And they have a super salty one, they have a caffeine one, and then they have a normal one. And before in the Ironman, I was probably taking in 6 Humagels, I think, so 600 calories. When I did Ottawa this year, I took in 5 carb gels, and they're 200 calories a piece, so I took in 1,000 calories. Stomach's still fine.
Yeah.
Finished, other than the face plant at the finish line because my quads were dead. My stomach was great, and I still had energy. My quads were just dead.
Nobody had to know about the face plant. Right. We weren't going to bring it up.
There's video evidence. Face plant.
I'm sure her husband just has it just as a screensaver playing. On
Not to mention the giant bruise. At least I didn't have to go to work for a week. But
there you go.
Yeah, so and then what were you fueling before you made that change? Do you remember?
I was using Humagels because they were easier on the stomach and they had more sodium in them.
And you were going, so for the run it was like 300 calorie or
100 calories every 4 miles.
Yeah, so then it would have been like 500 calories.
Yeah, 500 to 600 depending. Yeah.
And then you went all the way up to basically 1,000.
Yeah. I was like every 5 miles. So starting at mile 2. So 2, 7, 12, 17, 22. And then I took the caffeinated gels the last 2 because I know once you start caffeine, you don't stop caffeine.
No.
But I think they have 100 milligrams of caffeine each. And it wasn't too much that it affected my heart rate, but it was enough that it got me to the end.
To where you need to be.
Yeah. And then so the change from the bike, what were you doing on the bike before you made that change? Do you remember?
I was doing
Just 2 scoops of Tailwind?
2.5 scoops of Tailwind with a scoop of base salt. So 250 calories, and I went up to 320, but I also had the 2 sugar sources now instead of
which
one.
which is key. Yeah.
That's the thing, like the tailwind, like you start putting 2 scoops in a bottle like that, anything more than that, like it starts to get not syrupy, but like the flavor gets really concentrated, and like that really messed with me when I tried to make like concentrated bottles and things like that. I think now that we use the homebrew mix, the syrups that we make, it's like the flavor's so light, but the sugar is so concentrated in there. It's like, but it's I think that's the thing about a lot of these pre-made drinks. Like the flavoring is the intensity of the flavor is based on like the normal serving suggestion, right? Like 1 to 2 scoops. But like in your case, you got to dump more in there to try to get the calories. And I got to think the flavor just would turn me off after a while, I think. But the thing is just find something that works, right? I mean, that's really it. And it's like you keep making those adjustments, but to dramatically increase your caloric intake like that, I mean, it just gives your body so much more to work with.
I will say I also switched to 32-ounce bottles instead of 24. Like I went from the 24 to the 28, and then I found bottles that fit my water bottle cages that have 32.
Yeah.
And I went to that, and that helped me on the run too, just be that much more hydrated, just that extra, 4 to 8 ounces of water.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Especially, and I don't know if how do you handle when the temperature starts to rise, the heat turns up quite a bit? I mean, you say you put the salt into your bottle, but do you ever separate your nutrition and your hydration, or do you try to balance it differently or anything like that?
On the bike, I keep it the same, but then I will grab bottles of straight water at aid stations and take like a big drink at the beginning, dump some on me, take another really big drink. And then if I need to dilute, since I have the front arrow thing, I'll put a little bit more water in there if I know I'm going to need more, and then toss it.
Okay. What about like pre-race? Do you preload carbs, salts, all that kind of stuff too to help with cramps or anything, or do you have any issues there?
I don't really have issues with cramps, thankfully.
Yeah.
My bigger issue is I have vasovagal syncope. So before that was diagnosed.
In English? I'm sorry, what's that in English? I wasn't going to let it go because I'm like, I don't know what that is.
Well, we'll just say my first two or 3 Ironmans, I ended up in the med tent.
Yeah.
Okay.
And didn't know why, but I mean, I almost passed out. But I'm
Sure.
like, whatever.
Yeah, whatever, yeah.
But then,
It's just what you do.
I thought that's what everybody did.
Yeah. Doesn't everybody pass out?
I did actually pass out at work in 2016.
Nice.
And it took me down to the ER at Children's Mercy, which was fun. And since they didn't do everything and told me I was fine, the next day they're like, "Oh, there might be something wrong with your EKG. Go to your primary care." And I'm like, "Okay." So since they didn't do blood work, I got to do a full cardiac workup.
Nice.
And wear a cardiac monitor for a month, and that just resulted in phone calls. "Are you feeling okay?"
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm fine.
Well, your heart rate dropped to 35. Yep.
Yeah, they do the same thing with mine. They're like, when I get my EKG and stuff, they're like, "Hey, can you walk around a little bit?" Like,
your heart rate's too low.
it's a little low. It's kind of scaring the nurses.
Yeah. It's like now you got all this stuff on your watches and stuff, and
Yep.
like if you do the measurement, it's like cannot get a reading because your heart rate's too low. I'm like, oh, I guess I should walk around a little bit. So,
but then I also did a tilt test, which if you've never heard of that, they like strap you to a board, put you at this angle, and the whole point is to try to get you to pass out.
nice.
My blood pressure tanked like 6 minutes in.
Okay.
And so then I was diagnosed with vasovagal syncope. So basically, the cardiologist was like, "You need sodium. You're not," because I wasn't eating sodium.
So it's a blood pressure thing. Like
Yeah,
when you stand up, blood pressure drops. Yeah.
Well,
that
I mean,
whole
I
thing.
used to get
Okay.
lightheaded 2 to 3 times a day standing up. I'm like, changing position, that's normal. Apparently, it's not.
Yeah, and you were probably like, like most of us who are like, "Ooh, salt's the enemy." Don't.
I know.
Yeah,
I was just trying to say the same
exactly.
thing.
And it's just like,
yeah.
and you're like, and so then you're like me. We're like, we never salt our food. We cook all our food.
Yeah.
And with you, with your diet restrictions, you're like, you have total control over your food. So you're like not adding any salt, and you're like, okay, I'm being really good. And they're like, hey, you need salt. And you're like, huh?
Yeah, it's wild. We've talked about this before with like salt and everything. Like, it's like it's turned into the devil, right? And then I think the science and the studies on it has completely changed 180 on that over the last several years. And I know like heart doctors are probably, if there's any heart doctors watching, they're like, "Oh my gosh, salt's still bad, right? It's bad for your heart." Well, maybe in a certain condition, right? Certainly, you don't want to take somebody that's in like a cardiac unit and give them a bunch of salt, right? I believe that that's probably not the right time. But like for the most people who are healthy and are active, like salt is the
when
necessity.
you're talking about like people like us who sweat probably grams of salt during our workouts.
I'm white and crusty. Like it can be 35 degrees outside, and
Still
I just have salt.
crust.
Yeah. And so we
Like
just sweat so much salt and all the other salts that are in there, potassium and all that other stuff that, it's like, you gotta salt your food because you're not getting it anywhere else. And especially if you're, in charge of making your own food, you're not salting it at all.
Best part is you don't have to buy salt.
No.
You just wring out your clothes and
I just came from a workout. I'm gonna get it all back.
That's what my dogs do. My dogs love when I work out.
Yeah, I gotta season up some chicken for dinner.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Everybody else like, oh.
They're like, no. They're like, Dad's salting the chicken again.
Not eating tonight.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. I sweat a lot too, and I get pretty crusty. Like during the summer months, my heart rate strap there'll be a line of just raw skin where it just rips. Yeah. And it's just
not
a good.
No,
it's not a good look.
No, so. But so it's funny when you start to like pay attention to those types of things and you make the necessary adjustments. Like it's this weird concept when you give the body what it needs, it performs. That's wild. Right? Yeah, it's just, sometimes it's hard. It takes a lot of trial and error to figure out what you need though.
Well, that's one thing. My salt is really dialed in. Like on the run course, I just drink water. I don't take in even before they switched to Mortal or Gatorade. I usually didn't take any of that because it was like, if I need salt, I'll take a lick of base salt because I've done it for so many years that I'm in tune enough to know, okay, I need salt. Okay, I don't need salt.
Yeah.
They're even saying now with some of the studies, like even if you're like racing and you eat too much salt, but you like don't have the GI distress with it, it's just going to sweat out. So it's not like, it's not like, as long as you're not getting like GI distress from too much salt, you can't really have too much salt. Yeah. It'll just, your body will just be like, it's gone. We're going to get rid of it. So
maybe just shift it a little bit. We talked about, how many hours a week you train and all of that, and how off season is an important time of the year to have family time. How do you find the balance with family life and getting all of this work in? Because I know one of the biggest struggles for a lot of folks is just like, where do you find the time? And
it's that work-life training balance.
And it's like there's a lot of folks, people have demanding careers and they have, family life, young kids, and you have all of that. So how have you found that balance? And like not only how did you find the balance, but like what are some of the things over the years that you've adjusted and adapted to maybe make that balance a little bit better?
I'll say the hardest year was 2015 when my husband and I both trained for a full Ironman, and our daughter was 8 playing for 2 soccer teams, and at that age you can't just drop them off and leave them.
Yeah.
So it's like it was like we didn't see each other. It was meal prepping was very important because we needed food during the week, and we just didn't see each other. And we're like, never again. We can't do this.
Yeah.
And I work from 7 to 3:30, so a lot of times I'll get up and do like a run, like a shorter workout, maybe a 30-minute run before I go to work, and then hit the pool after work.
Yeah.
It's, it's like I have her stuff on the calendar to know where I've got to be when. Okay, these are the days I have to swim. Like every week is scheduled out on a dry race. So you have a
very structured time. It's almost like a work appointment calendar. It's like I have to go at this time.
We have a giant dry erase board, and it's got all of our names on it. And so it's got when her practices are, or games or whatever. And then I've got, so my family's like, she's biking today. Okay.
Yeah.
So they know, so we know what's going on.
Yeah. That's good. I say that's one of the hardest parts is that communication with each other, and knowing like, hey, especially when you're in the thick of Ironman training, you get like a 5-hour endurance ride on a Sunday or a Saturday, and it's like, where do I fit that in? Like for you, it's like it has to be on these time frames because I got practice right afterwards, right? Yeah. Things like that. Yeah.
And it did get a lot better when she turned 16 and could drive.
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah, built-in taxi.
But when she was younger, I bought a $40 trainer off of our classifieds at work, and I took my bike to the soccer field. I downloaded workout videos. I ran around the school. It's like it was my 50 minutes I had. I wasn't doing anything else. I might as well use it.
I got to ask, how many crazy looks did you get the first time you load up the bike on the trainer in the parking lot? Yeah.
But I had a mag trainer, so it was one of those super loud ones.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, yes. I was like, yes, all the parents are staying away from me.
Right.
That's right.
How many tried to come up and talk to you and then just like
None.
turn around?
Yeah, like none. Oh yeah.
No, most of the time they're just giving me looks like.
They're like, oh, they're like ushering their kids. They're like, don't talk to the crazy lady on
Yeah,
the bike.
don't talk to her.
She's one of those triathletes.
Yeah.
It was always fun when we had new kids
Not
join the
even
team.
wearing socks.
I don't wear socks on the bike.
Except for gravel racing. Now.
Yes, except for gravel racing. I do.
Gotta have it there.
Gotta have it there. Yeah, nothing's worse than getting rocks and all in your shoes.
Pinkie Pie would not let me wear
Yeah.
socks.
No.
So I mean, that's the thing. Like a lot of people don't like. I'll just say it because I mean I think there's a lot of people that would be. I don't want to say they're embarrassed, but like there's like a stigma, right? Like oh, you're that person at the practice with the trainer, like. But the reality is, it's like, no, it's like, I'm finding the time that I have, I'm going to get the work in.
Yeah.
This is really important to me.
I'm not going to sit here and watch my kid practice.
Well, it's not even about the practice.
Well, it's like you can watch them practice, or you can do your thing too. And then you don't have to sacrifice like, well, I have to
do both,
miss.
right?
Yeah.
You can do both. That's the best part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I've gone to like, I've been at my daughter when she used to do swim, I would go and lift weights while she was swimming. And I would, check in and watch some of the practice and in between sets and stuff. And then when my kids do hockey and stuff, I drop them off at the rink and then I go do a quick bike ride and then come back and catch a little bit. But yeah, it's about finding that time and the balance so that you can be present. It's not like you're actively coaching them while they're doing their sport. You're getting your workout in too while they're getting their workout. And then, it's just,
I know a popular thing for like our daughter played lacrosse, and usually that's at a complex where there's a track on the outside of the field, right? A lot of soccer fields. And then, so you'd see a lot of parents that would walk or run the track. That's pretty common. But to lug in a bike trainer and do all of that, I mean, that takes a different level of dedication. And again, I think there's just a lot of people that just like, oh, it's just a lot of work. Like, yeah, but you know what? It's like, you can't complain about not having the time and then don't use the time that you actually do have. I think that's the part of it. And it's why I think a lot of people probably just, I don't want to say, they just don't commit to it, right? There's a commitment that you have
don't
to
want
be
it
willing to
enough.
make. Yeah, exactly. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. And you have to be honest with yourself about that, because like there's been many times it's like even days when I'm just like, I don't even know if I want to work out today. Like you say, time to get in front of the accountability mirror.
Yep, exactly.
It's like, how bad do you want this?
Stare at yourself for a while.
That's right.
Come up with your excuses.
Try to look yourself in the eye in the accountability mirror and give yourself that excuse.
Yeah,
it's
give
like,
yourself the
excuse.
Yeah,
No,
I'll just go.
I'll
do
just
it.
go do it.
I'm gonna do it.
That was one thing when I fractured my foot and I couldn't run for 3 months. I'm like, that's a reason to not run. It's not a reason to sit and do nothing.
Yeah.
Like my doctor knew, who's also a triathlete. He's like, you're gonna want to know what you can do. Like he told me, you can go kick or you can go swim with a pull buoy. You can't kick, you can't push off the wall, but you can swim with a pull buoy.
Okay.
Guess where I was every day?
There
I
you
was
go.
at the
You're
pool
doing
because that's
something.
what I could do. I could lift upper body weights. I'm like, and then after 2 weeks, I could bike on the trainer. And it's like, okay, it's not an excuse to do nothing. It's a reason to not run.
Yeah.
What do you use to structure your workouts? Like do you use any applications? Do you have a coach? Do you just go off of your experience and tweak things here and there? I'm just kind of curious. Do you buy into the latest AI tools and all that kind of stuff? I'm curious. Yeah.
The first half that I did, I bought, I think it's like beginner triathlete plan. It's got 10 different levels of plans for sprint, Olympic, half, and full. And over the years, I still use that as a guideline.
Yeah,
like okay, this is a
template,
good, do these intervals or something. It's like, but then also I have a lot of experience and I've talked to a lot of coaches, just like life experience.
Yeah.
And I used to follow a 4-week schedule, like 3 build weeks and then a recovery week. And as I've gotten older, I've found I'm just wrecked that 3rd week. Like I don't get anything. So I've switched to 2 builds followed by a recovery.
Okay.
Yep.
And
You feel a lot better.
Yes. I'm not completely wrecked.
Yeah.
I don't hate training. and I like my first Ironman I did a 24-week. This last year I did 15.
Yeah.
Because I'd stay in shape. I could like right now I could probably go finish a half.
Sure.
It's not going to be pretty,
But you get it
but
done.
I could get it done.
Your fitness is still there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not starting from zero like I was when I did, the 24-week plan.
Yeah, that's what I was telling one of my athletes. It's like when you buy into triathlon, it's kind of like it becomes the lifestyle. Even though I don't have any triathlons coming up or that I haven't paid for, I still swim, bike, run. So I still, show up to the pool. I still run when I can. And, I have a lot of biking events that I paid for and that I'm going to be showing up to early on. But a lot of it is just you kind of adapt to just doing the lifestyle. It's kind of one of those things. You're just swim, bike, run. Yeah. You're doing 2-a-days every day of the week.
Yeah. I'm curious because, and I asked that question because, there's so many tools available now that weren't available, even 2 years ago, let alone 10 years ago, and I think it's easy for like a lot of folks when they get started, like, oh, like you said, I'm just going to buy the plan that's out there. And you don't know what you don't know. Right. But what would be some things that you've learned along the way that you would, like somebody starting out now, like, hey, if I could like give you one lesson in my experience and like doing all this training, what's something you've learned? I think you probably already said it, but what's something you've learned that you would give that advice a beginner?
Don't think the plan is the end all be all.
Sounds familiar.
Once again, back to the first marathon I did. There was one time I'm pretty sure I had a fever, but I'm like, no, I have a 4-mile run. I have to get it done. Yeah. I did my 4 miles on the treadmill and laid on the floor trying not to pass out for the next 30 minutes. Yeah. I'm like, you've got to listen to your body. Maybe it is VO2 max intervals and you're supposed to do that and you do the first 1 or 2 and you're like, no, my body just doesn't want to do that
just
today.
Shut it down.
And so you're like, okay, let's just make today base and we'll try VO2 max intervals later. Yeah. And so you got to listen. I mean, yes, some days I don't want to do threshold and I make myself do threshold, but my metrics are where they should be for threshold.
It's a difference of I don't want to versus I can't.
Yes.
Yeah. Or I shouldn't.
Yes.
Right. You know what I like to, so Travis and I were talking about this the other day. I'm a big fan of like just testing the whole AI stuff. I love asking it questions that I think I already know the answers to and just to see what it comes up with. And I mean, there's some good stuff out there. Like you can have these AI tools build like basic training plans, and they're pretty good. I mean, they're very fundamental, but they're good. And even now, there's some different programs and applications where it's like it builds to the plan, and then you can kind of chat with it about like what's going on in your life. I'm going to miss this workout. What should I do? And so it makes all these adjustments. There's really good. There's good tools out there. There really are. They can also be manipulated in a way. It's like where I was like, well, I don't really feel like doing something today, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, then you shouldn't do it. I'm like, well, what the you're defeating the purpose here. Like, challenge me a little bit. So just a tip on that. Like, if you ever get into those things, you have to like tell it, give me the tough love. Like, don't sugarcoat things for me, and then it'll kind of set you back in straight. But
and I think the other part too that Heidi was mentioning, like, some days we don't want to do VO2 max or thresholds, but if the metrics are there, then guess what? You're doing it. Even though you don't want to, and it feels like garbage, you're still hitting the numbers.
That's right.
But you're mentally, you're just not there. Okay. And then some days you're just like, you're all in and you don't know why. And then that's the beauty of the sport is like, you're just like, some days they're like, oh, these numbers I'm hitting are super easy today. Yeah. Why wasn't it easy like that last time?
And if you had to guess like what percentage of the time you get into those hard efforts and like you didn't want to do it when you got into it, by the time you get to the third one, you're like, all right, this ain't that bad. I can get it done, you know? And that's usually what ends up happening for me. So cool. Let's talk a little bit about your bike. What's the story on the bike? We kind of teased that at the beginning, but we didn't come back to it. Now we gotta get into this.
Yeah, if you've been to any triathlon here in the Northland, you've seen Pinkie Pie.
That's right.
Yeah, I got my Pinkie Pie QR in, I think it was 2018, and she is neutron pink.
Pink.
Yeah, it's like hot bubblegum pink.
You do not miss that bike.
No. Yeah. Pinkie Pie gets more shout outs on the bike course than I do. But
Pinkie Pie should have her own Instagram page.
How do we get Pinkie Pie as a guest on?
Yeah, exactly.
A little disappointed you didn't bring Pinkie Pie in for a guest appearance.
Yeah. All right. I mean, we got Heidi, but like PinkieIe was busy.
Yeah,
the show was really busy.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, you could
Pinkie Pie is on her break.
living it up on the beach somewhere.
But my family just started calling her Pinkie Pie.
Yeah.
And then my husband went on to Etsy and found, somebody that made some decals. So I have a Pinkie Pie on one side that she's like got her game face on, like I'm ready to go. And then her cutie mark is on the other side.
Nice.
That's great.
Yeah. I mean, that bike's unmistakable. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be a sad day when Pinkie Pie has to retire. So,
but Pinkie Pie only rides outside. I have a different bike set up on my trainer
Yeah.
permanently, so
she's
Pie
actually
will last longer.
I was gonna say Pinkie Pie's pretty young then by bike standards.
Yeah.
I want to get in the outdoor miles.
Pinkie Pie's been on a road trip to Alaska because I did tri-bike transport, so she got to go on a barge up to Alaska. She got to go to Ottawa this year. Like
International travel.
She's well traveled.
Yeah. World renowned.
Yeah. So, is there any Ironmans that you want to do that you haven't done yet?
I want to see if they replace Arizona with something.
Okay.
I'm waiting because originally I was doing I was chasing a time. I guess that's something that's evolved too.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
2017 was my fastest. I've always wanted to go sub 12, and I've never done it yet. There's still
time.
There's still time.
So 2017 in Chattanooga was my fastest, and that was like a 12:15, I think. So it's like I've had 7 finishes between 12 and 13 hours. So it's like right there.
Yeah.
But I totally forgot the question now.
Any Ironmans
that you want to
haven't
done yet?
Yeah,
I was thinking about my times.
We were listening. If you can't hear it, Frankie, our mascot, is snoring.
Yeah.
If you guys can hear that.
The soundproof studio that we're in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then I was just chasing a time. Like when I first got into Ironman, I was chasing a time. Like where can I go that's within a reasonable distance that I can drive?
Sure.
That I can get 12 hours. And Chattanooga was like the course made for me because it was a fast swim.
Yeah.
And I don't mind biking hills.
Right.
I love the old bike course.
Yeah.
I haven't done the new one yet.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I don't mind running hills either. Although Barton looks really ugly at mile 20.
I still have horrible visions from that, nightmares from that, and that song running up that hill.
But then after COVID, I did finish Chattanooga in 2021, but it's now like, I don't just race for a time. That's not the only reason I'm racing. I really do enjoy it 90% of the time. So then that's when I did
85.
I signed up for Alaska, and then just as a destination race, we made it into our family vacation. And of course, they announced Ironman Des Moines like 4 weeks later.
Sure.
And I'm like, seriously, an Ironman in my backyard?
Right.
So my husband's like, well, if you want to go do both of them, you can.
Yeah.
You're like, don't have to twist my arm.
Like, yeah, you
Don't
twist
tempt
my
me
arm.
with a good
Okay.
time.
Exactly. You're like, all right, then.
Let's do 2 Ironmans.
Yeah.
Good. I already have it pulled up on this page.
Yeah. Purchased. Done.
Done.
So now it's been more about the experience.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
Alaska was the experience. Des Moines was because it was closer to home. I was like, okay, this is a course that's definitely made for me to go sub 12. I was in peak shape.
Yeah.
And that's my worst Ironman ever because I felt like from mile 6 on the bike, I had no energy, no power. I was pretty sure I was getting, like I got COVID, I think right after it, but I think I was getting sick already.
Yeah.
So it was a death
slog,
march
yeah.
and it was 90 some degrees and humid. Yeah, that's my slowest Ironman ever because it was miserable. And so that's when I'm like, okay, I'm having a bad workout. But you can make it through. You've done 13 hours.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
suffer
also know
through.
that I'm like, I can do that. Let's not do it today because it's not smart. But then I did Chattanooga in 2023 because you guys were going.
Yeah.
And my husband's like, of course, you had to mention you're going to Chattanooga, her favorite
right.
venue to go to. Where's she going to go?
Yeah. I mean,
And then Ottawa this year, I'm like, oh, new race. Let's go to Ottawa.
what do you care to comment on some of the changes in Ironman, especially around like the qualifier, like the roll down slots versus the lottery thing that they do now, or however they do it now?
Yeah. I will say I'm happy that they went back to everybody in Kona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's harder to qualify,
Sure.
but like 2023, I would have had a slot at Nice from Chattanooga. I didn't even stay for roll down because I could have cared less because I wasn't going to go.
You weren't going to go. Yeah.
Nice just, and there's nothing wrong with it. That's not
It's a long-
the world championship for me. And also, if I were going to go to Nice, I'd probably get a road bike.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like I wouldn't take a tri bike.
Sure.
And so it's like it doesn't suit my style of racing, like the technical downhills and stuff.
Not
so
you.
I'm like, yeah. So if I would ever go, I would only go to Kona. I did like the premise of some time adjusted to, to give slots.
Right.
But then also women were losing that many more slots.
Yeah. We talked about that.
Yeah. I remember watching that.
Yeah.
So they did an update on that.
Yes.
So the whole goal was them to get like a 70-30 split.
Which is about what it is
basically what it is right now. And so what they did before they made the change is so first place, second place got world championship slots. Then it would roll down.
As long as there were enough in the age group.
Exactly. Yeah. As long as there was enough in the age group. Mm-hmm. And then it would go to the Kona performance pool. And then basically that was up to both genders. And so, and that's when you use your Kona qualifying time.
Right.
And so then what would happen, what they found out is like, hey, Danny, I got a free entry, or I got an entry to Kona. Would you like to go? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Now, when I ask Heidi that, Heidi, I got not a free entry, but I got an entry into Kona. Would you like to go?
Yeah.
See, but you would like to go, but you're like, hold on, I have to check my schedule.
Yeah.
That they were finding that women were more likely to be like, hey, let me okay this with the family and my support system.
Yep.
They were more responsible.
The rest of us were like,
the rest of us were like, we'll just sign up and we'll figure it out later. Yeah. And they found the women weren't taking the roll down spots because they were like, well, I have to make sure that like I don't have, they're doing their other things. They're like, hey, triathlon's
second mortgage.
This thing that they're
that
like,
too.
that I have to make sure that I can afford this. Guys are just like, no, just shut up and take my money.
Right.
And so then now what they do is now everything goes to the performance pool, but it's separated by gender.
Yeah.
So if you don't accept it, it still stays for the women. So they don't lose out on the spots anymore. Yeah. But it's kind of like one of those things that like you probably could have done some market research beforehand.
I haven't done a deep dive into the adjustments they made. I just know when we were looking at it before we did the podcast on all the changes, my first reaction, this is so funny, like the way it all played out was exactly, you can go back and look at the episode. Like we published the episode and then it was like within a few weeks, you started seeing like the real story was playing out exactly what we talked about it.
Yeah. And it was not a very smart move.
No, I mean, it's like, that's the thing. Like, I'm like, surely they did a lot of like analysis and studies on this. Like, but then we just look at the logic of how they were doing the slot assignments and it's like pools and factors. I'm like, this is all manipulated. Something's not right. And this is not going to be good. And hopefully the adjustments they made work out. I mean, time will tell, I suppose. The biggest fear I have is that people who rightfully earn the ability to go don't get the opportunity to go. And that's what I think, like the roll down slot ensured that was not going to happen.
Yeah.
Yes, you had to know right then and there. And I get that. That's a challenge. But it's one of those things, like if you're in the competition where you even have a chance, like you should probably have that answer figured out before you show up to the event. You know what I mean?
Especially
like,
if you show up, because you make a conscious decision to show up to roll
right.
down.
Like
because if you're not there and they say, "Oh, you want the slot," they just pass right over you.
And you don't just accidentally find yourself in the top 10. You know what I mean? Like you're training, you're doing all the things.
It's not like you're
right?
like, oh wow, I'm in the top 10. That's amazing.
Like I placed 48th in my age group out of 50. Somehow I magically found a roll down. Like, it usually doesn't happen.
That's what was happening though.
And I get it. Yeah,
and
it could happen, sure. But I think the at the end of the day, in my mind, it's like if you're going to be shown, to your point, if you're going to show up to that roll down meeting, you better be saying yes. Like you better be locked in.
Well, and it's the day after the race. You know how you did.
That's right.
Going into roll down,
right. Yep.
you should have had these discussions with your family, whether it's a possibility or not.
Yeah. So
maybe that's just me because I'm a planner.
Well, I was going to say different personalities.
Yeah,
right?
it's different personality. Me, I'm like, I would be the guy that shows up like they're like Travis, and I'll be like, what? Yes, I'll take it. Yes.
Yes. I've always wanted this.
I've always wanted this.
And then back like, honey, can I go to
Honey, can I go to Kona, please? Please? You're going to have to sell one of my kidneys. Can we go?
The next Google search is, how do I Ironman train on one kidney?
Yep. Is there any detriment to training with one kidney for Ironman? Yeah.
What about half my liver?
Yeah, exactly. Something.
That'll regenerate.
That's right. Yeah. Just give it some time. So good stuff.
So you're not chasing times.
I mean, I still want a sub 12.
Right, exactly.
But you're not chasing.
But
like,
you're not.
Yeah.
But have you found that your overall position in the groups, like like your overall like placing in your age group, has that changed, or have you gotten better now that you're not chasing the weight of chasing the time, like you're free to race more?
Well, like with some of the local races, the women are just getting faster. And I mean, it's freaking awesome to be like,
right.
okay, we're in our 40s and we're going fast.
Right.
Like, I'll use Shawnee Mission for an example this year. I had a really good time at Shawnee Mission, and it would have either won it or placed second a couple of years ago. And I think I was like 8th or 9th overall this year.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I think here too, there's a pretty strong triathlete community here, and the triathletes that are here are very strong.
Yeah.
Like the Midwest,
committed to it.
The Midwest people, it's a lot deeper here, field. When I came from New Mexico, it was like 2 or 3 people really, really good. Everybody else just average. Here it's like, there's 10, 15 people in our age group, and we know them, and they're all quality people, and then the rest of us are just fighting for the scraps. So
that's me.
And I want to say, like, out of the top 6 or 7, almost all of them were over the age of 40.
Yeah,
I believe it.
Like the women are just getting faster, so I'm getting faster in some regards, but placing lower.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Isn't that hard?
Yeah.
That's rough.
It's like, I'm glad
that's the way I am too. I'm like, every year I come out and I'm like doing better and I'm getting faster, and it's just like, nope.
No, but the rate of increase is less than the competition.
Yeah, their increase over the competition increase is bigger than what I can produce every year to year.
Isn't that crazy?
So it's just going backwards. So you talk about Kona. Is that one of the goals in the future? Are you going to try to qualify for Kona, or are you just kind of like?
I mean, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I mean, I just have to keep being able to move and outlive all my competition.
Well, I guess that's true. Eventually you will.
Eventually you'll get there, right?
I mean, if you win that side of it, you're right.
Yeah, because they had a woman that was 80 this year.
Yeah,
that
I saw that.
Kona.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was actually, your answer kind of surprised me. I thought you would have been like an adamant yes, I want to get to Kona, but at the same time, like I don't see like nothing you've said today, and any time we've ever talked outside or trained with you, I've never heard you like oh my gosh, I have to get to Kona. I think that kind of stuff just puts added pressure on things, like, and it just ratchets up the expectation maybe to a level that's not really going to be productive. And I think I like your approach. Like, you're like, hey, you know what? I'm going to do my training. I'm going to train hard. The hard days are hard. Easy days are easy. I'm going to take care of my body. And if the results are there, then that's what they are. Right?
I will say it's totally, like when I started into I did Ironman Louisville in 2015. Like, all right, what do I need to do to go to Kona? Like very much I was time focused, Kona focused. And now it's very much evolved. Like, I'm lucky that I'm healthy enough my body can do this. And I even told my family at Ottawa last year, I'm like, maybe that was my last full. Maybe it wasn't. I'm going to take next year off with our daughter graduating, moving to college. I'm like, there's not time. And I know, I mean, yes, I could train for a full, but there's not time. There's not the balance that I want. And so my family and balance means more than chasing another Ironman.
Yeah. Well, and you might find out too that taking the year off. I mean, you're gonna obviously, you say take the year off. You're not sitting on the couch. You're obviously working out.
Half,
yeah,
but
you're
as
still
my family
working
says,
out.
just a half.
Don't let anybody get fooled out there that Heidi's gonna like sit on the couch.
She's not taking a break.
Like, all you competition out there, don't think you're gonna pull one over on Heidi.
She's still there.
She's still there, but. Yeah, you might end up finding out that the year off from the full is exactly what your body needs, and then you're going to be stronger. Right. So that's, I could see it already happening, right? Like 2027, Heidi signs up for the next, whichever full you want to do, and then next thing you know, like you're on a plane to Kona. I could see that happening.
And that's the other thing too. I've had the discussion with my husband. I'm like, I know if I really, really wanted to focus and get to Kona, from where I'm at right now, it's probably a full 2 to 3 year process with a coach that whole time. And like I know what kind of commitment. I'm not ready to make that commitment now. That's the want versus wish thing.
And I bet a lot of it too, I mean, back to the whole balance and the time side of it, a lot of it too could just be like where your family's at right now. Like you said, your daughter's graduating, so you get to the other side of that. And I mean, not that you'll have a lot more time, because I know your daughter's going on and playing sports and you're going to be involved in all that, but But you may find out that, hey, I've got the time I needed to dedicate to this now and really commit. And I have to ask, what if you had to kind of put a plan together right now, what area of your triathlon would you think needs the most improvement to get a qualifying spot?
Kind of have two.
Nope, you only have one.
Okay. I would say my run off the bike.
Okay. But your standalone run is solid, you think?
It
is.
It's
specifically
and
off the bike.
in a half, it's pretty good, but it starts to fall apart in a full.
Got it.
Like when I ran full marathons, granted I was a lot younger, my PR I think was a 3:48 or a 3:45, and my fastest in an Ironman has been a 4:22, and that was at Louisville when it was like 65 degrees and it was flat.
Yeah.
But my one that I just did at Ottawa this year, where I was super, super heat acclimated and I was never hot on race day, was a 5:20.
Okay.
So I really need to get that closer to a 4:15.
Yeah.
Off of a really solid bike.
Yeah.
So I would say my run off the bike.
Okay, that's fair. When did you learn to love running?
I think it's when I was in college. And
so you admit that you love running?
I do. Yeah.
Because I remember when we started this conversation,
I hated it.
You said you hated
it.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to figure out, did you find the runner's high?
I did yesterday too. I got home and I'm like, I have the small window that I can go run when it's not raining or anything. And I'm like,
so now you got two secrets.
I only have time to do 4 miles, but this feels so
productive
nice.
And runner's high.
Yeah.
You're talking about a unicorn here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why she got it.
Right.
That's why she got it on the Garmin.
Yeah, right.
It's like, oh, it gets sense that
she loves running.
Yeah.
She found the runner's high. You're
Honestly,
productive.
You're productive.
Honestly, I usually get the productive stuff from doing VO2 max or threshold intervals on the bike.
I could tell. I know a Garmin is heavily skewed to people that do the VO2 max and threshold work.
It's very, very skewed.
Yeah. So
it's like you cannot do that. It may be productive today, but if I do it 3 days in a row, it's going to be very unproductive.
Yeah. It's good stuff. Yeah, I had to ask because I was curious. I mean, I know how much you do enjoy running, and that's why it surprised me when we started out. Like, I hated running as a kid. Like, what? Wait a minute, where did this?
Heidi's like one of those people that loved to hated running so much that she just fell in love with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, my middle school volleyball, basketball, track coach. I've seen him since I've gone home after I've done this stuff, and I'm like, you probably never would have thought that I'd be loving running when you used to yell at me to go run because I didn't want to. Playing basketball, funny. You got to run. I don't want to run.
I don't
playing basketball.
Yep.
They're like, you're in a running sport. Like basketball, you have to run around.
That's different.
I don't have to.
That's different. Yeah.
I'm gonna walk it up.
That's why I want to play point guard. I can just walk the ball.
Walk the ball up. Play center, just hang out in the middle.
But you're the shortest one on the team. I don't care.
Well, I was a post player.
Oh, okay. See,
I could use my body. I could shove people around.
There you go.
I did almost get my nose broken by a 6'2" girl, but
Yeah. No thanks. So, got anything else there? I got some rapid fire when we're ready for it. So.
No. Oh, well, we have to talk about her transition to gravel.
Oh, of course.
How are you finding gravel, and how is it compared to triathlon?
I would like to get out there more than I do. And I did my first gravel. I don't really want to call it a race because I was just going out there to do it.
It's a race.
In 2024. And that was my first one. I'm really like, I'm just going to go have fun, enjoy the day. I wish I would have known how close I was to the front because I took third and I was like a minute 40 off first place. And I'm like, dang it. Oh. But my gravel bike is named Cookie Monster because it's all about having fun. I don't have a power meter on my gravel bike because it's more relaxed, just having fun. And I'd like to get out there more, but I can't just walk out my door and go ride gravel. I did take my gravel bike out to my parents because they live on country roads, but it was harvest, and with harvest going on, you don't bike very far.
No.
So I would definitely like to get out there more.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. There's been that conversion of a lot of triathletes into gravel, and I don't know how successful that is. Like how many people actually do that. But
I think a lot of them like the fact that it's just the same. It's like the planning. Mm-hmm. It's the I have to do this and train like that. And we ride so much on the trainer that it's, I mean, gravel's the closest thing you get to riding on the trainer outside.
Yeah, no free miles for sure.
Yeah, I do like 90 to 95%. I guess that's another thing you asked about time stuff.
Yeah.
I do 90 to 95% of my biking on the trainer. Just because it's more efficient. I can walk downstairs. I can bike when it's dark. I can.
Yeah, and that's interesting because there's countless people every year ask those questions in like Facebook groups and forums and all that. Like, oh, can I train on a trainer or can I train on a treadmill and still be ready for a triathlon? It's like, yeah. You're putting the work in. Now, there's a certain amount of like bike handling skill that you don't want to go straight from a trainer, never ride outside and then go try to ride.
Yeah,
especially if it's windy.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, for just getting the work in, there's nothing more valuable.
And honestly, even when I have intervals, I do those exclusively, pretty much on, especially VO2 max, where I'm just hammering it, or threshold where I need to maintain that constant pace or effort for 20 minutes because it's just more efficient and easier than like with the terrain changes or cars outside.
Yep. Good stuff.
Good.
So,
all right, rapid fire.
Rapid fire, the favorites, everybody's favorite.
Everybody's favorite.
Yeah. So, I didn't write these, and neither did Travis.
No. So, ChatGPT.
This is the AI, infiltrating our brains. All right. So rapid fire. Just some questions that came up here. Swim, bike, or run? Which one do you secretly hate?
Swim.
Nah.
That was so fast.
I'm like, I knew the answer. I knew.
And I wouldn't say I hate swimming. I started so late in life that it's the hardest one for me. I have to think about it. So if I just want to zone out and not think, I would much rather go run or bike because I can just do those. They're automatic. But swimming, I'm like, where do I put my hand? How do I, I have to think about it.
In the vein of swimming, pee in the wetsuit, yes or no?
Depends how cold the water is.
Yes.
Or how long I've been standing in line to get in the water.
Yeah.
What's one thing you lie to yourself about in training?
I love swimming.
Man, you're just gonna wear that one out. I love
the water. I love it. I love it so much. It's like exactly what I tell myself every time I go running.
Yeah.
My mom knows I hate running so much. She's like, but you love running. You love it. I hate it so much.
Oh my gosh. So what's the most overused phrase in endurance sports?
You're almost there.
One more hill.
One more hill. That's where I was at too. One more hill. Just one more hill.
One more hill.
Yeah.
One more. You're almost there. It's almost over.
Almost done.
Yeah, I
it's
love it when they're
mile
like,
2.
Yeah, when they're like you're on the marathon and they're like one more hill and you're like mile 1. You're like, come on, man.
At Des Moines one year, I came out of T2, and my husband goes, "You're not almost done." And I'm like, "Thank you."
That's the honesty.
Thank you so much.
I want the honesty. That's right. Would you rather bonk hard or cramp so bad you can't stand?
Bonk hard.
Yeah, cramp. I
think it'd be easier to recover.
Cramp. I hate bonking.
I'm okay with the bonk because I'm like, all right, I'll just pass out eventually.
Yeah, I'll just bonk and then
take a ditch down.
Get some sugar and sit here for a little bit. But if I cramp and you can't
I know, right? Yeah,
move.
Yeah, or like it's cramp. Like especially if you're walking, you cramp so bad you about fall over. Like you just especially like somebody off in the distance that sees that, it's embarrassing. Music or silence when it hurts the most?
Music.
Yeah, music. I think music's like one of those, like, again, I don't train with it a lot of the times, but I do use it for those sessions where I'm like, I don't really want to do this today. And I'm like, it'll be the little treat of let's listen to some music.
I do that too. I think when I'm out, like when I'm out on a course or at a race event, obviously, most race events I don't wear headphones or anything like that. And a lot of them you just can't. You're not supposed to. But I think when I'm in an event, it's a lot easier for me to stay focused when it's silence. Yep. And we joke about this all the time. Like my brain is empty on the efforts when we're outside. Now on the trainer, I'm with you, Travis. I got to have the music.
I mean, I run with music all the time, but I do have the shocks so I can hear a car coming before I even see it. And I do swim with my headphones too. Yeah. I do not bike outside with music ever.
Yeah.
Again, I really only use music if it's like inside if it's like a workout that I don't want to do, or outside if it's like a zone 2 ride and it's like 4 hours long. Like I'm like just be bored. The
best thing was putting the speaker on the bike last year. So you just have the speaker dangling off the front there and you can just hear it the whole time. It's just awesome. So, not on the list here, but I have to ask, like, what's one piece of gear you cannot live without? I just had to ask that one because.
Well, I better say Pinkie Pie or she's going to murder me when I get home.
Well, I mean, your bike's kind of a necessity. Yeah,
I would say my bike shoes. They're pretty
comfy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I spend a lot of money on them, and I tell people that I spend like $400 to $500 on bike shoes, but they also last 3 to 4 years, and I spend well over that a year on running shoes.
Right, and even just regular shoes.
Yeah,
for crying out loud. Yeah,
but I actually do. I mean, I wear road shoes for tri. I'm like, they're going to cost me 15 seconds.
Yeah,
that makes no difference in a half or a full.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat. What's your warning sign when things are about to get ugly?
I start weaving, or we were talking about this earlier too. I do math in my head, like fractions, like I'm this quarter of the way done, or I'm only a quarter to the next half. But if
math.
If I can't do math because I love math, then I know something, like my cognitive abilities are declining.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I think like I said, I tend to go blank in my head, but I do that too. I mean, like especially if I'm like, especially in Unbound, when you're like 200 miles and you're like at mile.
Yeah, you cannot think that, I have 200 miles to go at mile 1. Just like, that's a recipe for a bad day. Or especially when you're like in the swim and you're like, I only have 112 more miles to go.
It's always like, it's only this long to the next aid station, or this long to the water stop, or, and because I mean, those water stops are usually 40 miles apart, 50 miles apart. So it's like, okay, I'll get within a few hours.
For an Ironman on the bike, I usually do, this is my first Olympic distance. Because
you
got like 4 Olympic distance bikes and then a sprint.
Yeah.
So I'll break it up that way.
Yeah. All right, a couple more. What pain do you chase?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
ChatGPT's on it today.
Yeah, dialed in.
So I stopped thinking.
Yeah.
Like, just so it hurts enough, it wipes everything out.
Yeah. All right.
Clears the head.
Clears the head out. That's right.
It's definitely my stress reliever some days. That's one thing I've learned as I've gotten older. I'm like, I just can't go out and sprint to run off a bad day. I can go out and work out, but I need to not kill myself.
Yeah, you can't run from a bad day.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. What keeps you coming back?
I think like a runner's high, or just the finish line high.
Yeah.
Maybe is what it is, because
there you
there's
go.
just something when you cross that line, the sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
Like, wow, like, okay, on day 1, can I do that? Even now, lining up at an Ironman where I've done.
Yeah.
I start lined up for 9 and I've finished 8, and then there's still always, am I going to finish this? And there's always that sense of what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. How am I going to adapt? So I think the unpredictability.
Yeah.
And just that sense of accomplishment to overcome all those little obstacles.
Yeah. I think I agree. I could not agree more. I think anytime you finish events, races, whatever, it doesn't matter what it is, how many times you've done it, it's like it's the payoff for all that hard work. And it's so hard on we always joke about how hard it is to like throw the leg over the bike to do the intervals that day and that sort of stuff. But it's like if you kind of always tie it back to the goal, and then the goal is that accomplishment of finishing. Because I agree. I think if you start chasing time goals, I mean, yes, everybody wants to podium, everybody wants to do, but like then you have to ask yourself, well, what are you racing against? You're racing against the clock. You're racing against yourself. Like, because if you're racing against a clock, there's too many parameters and all this stuff that you can't. It's just, I think you're always going to be disappointed. You occasionally won't be, but most of the time you're just setting yourself up for disappointment. I think if you're racing against yourself and you're just determined and getting that sense of accomplishment, oh my gosh, nothing beats that for sure. So, man, makes me want to sign up for another full.
No.
I thought about it. I was thinking, like, when's the next full that I would do? I can't. I probably
2027.
Yeah, I probably cannot do one next year. But we've talked about this. I think after one of our recordings, it's like I could see maybe doing one in 27. I know I cannot do one next year or this year now, 26.
Yeah. I mean, I'll probably be, given the athletes that I train and the amount of hours that I work with them, I'd probably be okay to train for Ironman this year, but I have no desire. Like I just, again, not to say that like the time is the goal, but you also want to, like, for me, it's always like you want to build your training so that you have the fitness and the ability to not necessarily,
you have a shot at it.
You have a shot at making that time goal. Not necessarily like the conditions of the course can always dictate your time, but like you want to show up prepared to give your best effort on the day.
And to not totally wreck yourself.
Yeah.
Exactly. And not be like, oh, I can't ever walk. Or I like, I ran so hard that I just broke every bone in my foot or something. Like that's just not a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would probably be 27.
Yeah.
For one.
Yeah. I think we were talking about this before. Like it took so much to sign up for the Unbound this year. Like all the leading up to the lottery and everything. And just like, something wasn't quite clicking until like the week that was all released and the page was active and you could actually go out and put your name in and go through the process. But I think it's awesome that you're taking the year off. I think that's something everybody should really think about. Like really give yourself a chance to find that balance back with your family life. Because I mean, let's face it, there's a ton of hours put into the training to support these things. And that's a huge sacrifice that the family makes. So I think it's good that we got a chance to talk about that, like how do you balance that kind of stuff? Because that's something I think is a struggle for everybody wanting to break into the sport.
Well, that's the thing too, talking about when you cross that finish line, it's almost a validation too that all the sacrifices and the hard work that you put in, and when your family didn't see you or stuff, it actually was worth something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, and then also I know your family's like they're usually there at the finish line, like cheering you on, like they know how much it means and everything like that too. So like there's that sense of pride and accomplishment for them too. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
So, cool.
Good.
Anything else?
I don't think so. I think that was great.
Anything we didn't touch on? You want to cover? No?
I don't think so.
All right.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening, and
Heidi, thanks for being here and sharing a little bit about this. We'll have to get you back on here after you get through 26 and see what 27 starts to look like. So I'd be excited to hear about it.
Pinkie Pie on.
I know. Can we bring Pinkie Pie in?
Maybe after Omaha 70.3.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I'd like to hear about that. And we'll get to get some like on location so we can get Pinkie Pie involved in this.
Yeah. So. See if we can catch her out in the wild.
That's right. It's a rare Pinkie Pie sighting.
Yep. So, yeah, really, really looking forward to this year. I know you're doing some other. You're going to do the Matt Mason and all that other stuff too.
Well, we just have to wait and see when we move Kivern up to college because it's right around since she's going to play soccer. It's right around the 1st of August that we'll move her up. So I'm like, that'll be a last minute sign up, and I'm still waiting for Kansas City because I don't know if that's district soccer weekend. If it's not district soccer weekend, then I have a niece graduating from high school.
See the balance in real time.
But Omaha 70.3.
Omaha 70.3 is for sure.
Yeah, it's on the calendar.
And my daughter's soccer team did not make regionals, so that was the only reason I would have missed that. So.
All right,
good. All right, well, we'll see you guys out there, and thanks for coming on. All right. Talk to you later.
Thank you for listening to this episode. Please, if you like what we are doing here, leave a like, rate us, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends. It really helps us grow and finds us more SufferSooner squad mates. And remember, when the finish line feels impossibly far away, we don't give up, we push harder, we dig deeper, and we find solace in the knowledge that our suffering is temporary and our resilience is forever.